Good evening. It's good to see each one of you here this evening. We're glad that you came out, and we hope that you have an enjoyable time as we see some demonstration of some cooking this evening. Let me just ask a question. How did you hear about this event? Anybody want to volunteer information? Mary Adams. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I see some other head shaking there. Very good.
Flyer in the mail.
Flyer in the mail. That was you too, a flyer in the mail. Good. So we're glad that you're here tonight and that you've come out. I want to ask you to do one thing. You know, we all carry these little things with us, don't we? Right? So if you will put it either on vibrate or silence or turn it off, we would appreciate that. Sometimes, you know, it starts ringing in the middle and then you're digging all over to try to find it. That's okay. Now is the time for it to go off. So we're glad that you can do that. If you, I think most of you know, but there's some water over there on the table. Just down where the registration is, just this side of the registration table is the ladies' restroom, and just on the other side is the men's restroom, to give you that particular information. Tonight, we're pleased to have with us Chef Mark Anthony, and he does cooking programs on 3ABN, which is a worldwide television program. He also does weekly programs on Smart Lifestyle TV. He's been in many parts within the all over the United States for sure, and in other parts of the world. And we're glad that he actually contacted us, and we're glad that he could come here this evening to take and be with us and to demonstrate some cooking. And I know you will enjoy him. I've seen him a number of times. I saw him this summer 5 days in a row. So I saw a lot of cooking this summer from him. So we're glad that you're here. We would like to start this evening with a word of prayer. Our most gracious Lord, we thank you for how you have blessed us. We thank you for giving us the ability to come this evening to watch this demonstration on some cooking, some lifestyle changes maybe for some of us, to help us be healthier, to keep our minds clearer. And we're glad that you have allowed us to be here this evening. We thank you in your dear name. Amen. And I'd like to introduce to you Chef Mark Anthony.
I guess I better see if I got some volume on this thing. Does that work? Test 1, 2.
Yeah.
I think I'm there. Okay. All right. Hey, did you guys all see these little purple cards over here too? The appearing. That looks pretty good. I think you're going to talk about that later, right?
Yes, we will.
So, yeah. All right. Well, good to be back. It's been quite a few years. I've been touring the country, and I think last time we did a Southwest theme. Today we're going to do a program called Unprocessed. Now, since I was here last time, I think we've actually done cooking shows in every single state in the country now, including Alaska and Hawaii now. And still, I've never charged anybody. We don't charge people to attend, and just by donations, God's provided every step of the way, even airfare and rent-a-cars. So it's really been an amazing journey. And but I really get an opportunity to see what a crazy, nutty, upside-down world this is. I don't think you have Raw stores here yet, do you? We just got one in South Bend, Indiana. And my wife and I go in there. They had a framed poster in there, a beautiful framed poster. I almost bought the thing. It actually said, "Never trust a skinny chef." And I thought, wait a minute now, shouldn't this say never trust a fat chef? I don't know where they get these phrases from, but of course I couldn't have said that 70 pounds ago. I think I was down 60 pounds the last time I was here. And but I do want to point something out, okay? Excess weight comes from excess sugars, excess fats, excess calories, okay? That's where you're going to get excess weight. I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about the excess clogged arteries and saturated fats and cholesterol, because that's where you get the excess killer diseases, okay? And your blocked cells and everything like that. So there's a big difference between the two, and you don't want to judge people because they're overweight by the world standards, thinking they're unhealthy, because it's not always the case. There's a lot of people that are overweight that are actually perfectly healthy. And there's a lot of people that are overweight who are actually way healthier than the slender people whose arteries are all clogged up with the fats and cholesterol and everything. But our brains are indoctrinated by a society to automatically judge people by what they look like on the outside rather than who and what they are on the inside. So it's just that nutty world we live in. Now, of course, if you want to lose a quick 20 pounds, you want to lose a quick 25 pounds? Just wear black. I mean, I do things the easy way. I've got some vegetables in the refrigerator. I'm going to need some vegetables out of the refrigerator. If somebody wants to grab a bowl of vegetables. Yeah, right here I've got a bean pot. And I've got black beans and pinto beans in here. And what I did was I brought this to a boil and then I shut it off. Let it rest for a little while. Then I drained the water. You'll see it all kind of foaming up. Then I drained the water and filled it back up again. So that's your fast forward to soaking beans overnight. Oh, thank you. And you can do that with any type of beans, but that's what restaurants do. Just boom, boom. And so refill it up with fresh water. And it's about half full right now. And we got to get some flavor in here, though. And so today, I'm going to do some vegetables here. We're going to do some carrots, bell peppers, and onions. And you can use lots of different vegetables. I mean, I use celery. And then spice-wise, let me do some chili powder and cumin, garlic, onion, a little bit of salt. Okay. And today, what I want to share with you is how to cook with ratios. If you learn how to cook with ratios, you're going to have a lot more success with your cooking. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to take 1 part cumin. Let's see. 1 part cumin, and then 2 parts chili powder. Okay. Now, I'm not making chili either, or triple the amount of spice going in here. But it would still be that same ratio. You see, 1-to-2 ratio works great for your Southwest flavors here. And then we'll do the same thing with the garlic, onion, and we'll do a 1-to-2 ratio on this. We'll do 1 part garlic, and then 2 parts onion. Make sure you measure everything precisely, okay? You know. And I know what people are saying too. They're like, why is he putting a bunch of onion powder in there? He just put a whole bunch of onions in there. The reason is because they taste completely different. Now, technically, there's 5 flavors to an onion. You've got raw, translucent, golden, brown, and dark brown. Okay, that's the 5 official flavors of an onion. And every one of them tastes completely different. And then your powdered tastes different than the fresh. So that's why you do it that way. And then we'll put a little shot of salt in here too. And that should do. Now, have any of you ever used bulgur wheat before? B-U-L-G-U-R. Okay, good. 1 person. All right. Bulgur wheat. This right here is bulgur wheat. Cracked whole grain. It's easy to cook. So what we're going to do here, by the way, this is a ratio situation too. Kind of like rice. You know how you do 1 part rice and 2 parts water? Depends on the rice, of course, but same ratio. 1 part bulgur wheat, 2 parts water. If you add more water to it, you're going to have a little softer, and you can always pull back some water if you want a little bite to it, a little firmer bite to it. So 1-to-2 ratio. And then what I'm going to do today is what is called fusion cooking. If you don't know what fusion cooking is, that's where you take different cultures from around the world and mix them together. Hawaii, #1 fusion mecca of the world. People migrated from all over the world there. Even Cajun is very fusion because you've got the Southwest with Southern and the French, so you've got some fusion cooking going on there. But today, I need to get this Asian flavor here. So we're going to just add a little bit of soy sauce to make it an Asian flavor. Oh, more? Okay, she wants more. More? Really? Okay. But it's low sodium. Isn't that what people say? Right. It's a big pot. I know people always get thrown off when I do this, but it is a big pot. And what you'll have here is a Southwest flavored bean pot with that Southwest and then a little Asian topping right on the top. Of course, if you're a celiac, I keep them separate, so you're okay there too. And I guess I could tell all you a little bit about myself. Don't try this at home. I grew up in South Dakota, a little town of 300 people. Went to college up in Tacoma, Washington. In fact, back when I was in college, I worked at about 100 different restaurants, and once I learned everything one restaurant was doing, I'd go to the next, and even if it was less pay, because I just wanted to see what they were doing, you know. Really thriving. And back then, man, I always had jobs lined up. I could go in a place and just show my resume, and they'd be like, "You're a cook, when can you start?" You know, but nowadays it's a whole different world. Back nowadays, you got to apply on the internet, and you don't get to shake anybody's hand. You know, it's kind of a whole different world. And but I went to go check out culinary art schools, and I found out I knew more than the instructors did. So, never went to culinary art school. I've been offered jobs as an instructor at different universities, and I do have all my fingers, by the way. So, y'all want to know how to use a knife? Okay. Take your index finger, point it right down at the table. The knife is going to make contact with your finger. And you want to make sure your finger is where you're cutting the food, okay? You don't want your finger up here by the handle, or you're just going to chop your knuckle off. And if the finger's over here by the tip of the knife will catch your finger. So it's got to be where you're cutting the food. My finger is usually right on the food. And now as long as the knife never leaves your finger, and the knife never leaves the table, it's really impossible to cut yourself, see? If you start going airborne, you know you're going to have problems. So just calm down, just take it one slice at a time. And pretty soon you have what is called a range of motion. And after you get your range of motion, then you start lifting, and you're good to go. So that's knife cutting 101. All right. The bulgur wheat is boiling. We're going to set this aside, let its own energy do the cooking. And in 45 minutes, we're ready to eat. And then right here, I'm going to make cheese out of potatoes and carrots. And the majority's in potatoes. That's the majority right here, potatoes. Some of you may have had cashew cheese. This one here, cashews are expensive. Yes. This is like 1/4 the price and about 1/4 the fat. So eating healthier and saving some money. So that's a good deal. Okay. Boom. Okay, I got it. Yeah, what did I do? Well, I was in Las Vegas. I used to work for the federal school lunch program. And with the federal school lunch program, not one single time did we ever get fresh fruits and vegetables. Mostly what we got was bags of eggs and blocks of cheese and boxes of meats. A lot of pre-made stuff. We had the pre-made grilled cheese sandwiches with cellophane and the pre-made cholesterol, chili dogs, you know, cholesterol and cheese and everything loaded with cholesterol. Forced to feed this to the kids. And hasn't changed much over the years. I did like what Michelle Obama was doing. She went into the federal school lunch program, really rattled some people around. This is not on. Ah, it's empty, that's why. I was listening and I heard that it wasn't on. This one doesn't have a lot of fuel in it either, but. That work? Okay. Yeah, but anyway, there was great intentions, but the people in the food and drug, the federal school lunch program don't know anything about nutrition. So yeah, it was great intentions, but horrible implementation. Actually ended up becoming worse. And I got an article here from 2011. New York Times, Congress has officially declared pizza as being a vegetable on the federal school lunch program. Yeah, pizza's a vegetable now. Lobbyists spent $5.6 million buying off Congress. And it's got tomato sauce, so they're allowed to do that. I don't know what's next, but I'm thinking maybe we could take those chicken nuggets. Maybe we could start calling those a grain, right? Pretty soon all the kids will be vegetarians. Just recategorize everything. Burgers with lettuce and tomato, it's a vegetable. You know, you can really run with that idea. And but I started working for hospitality management team on the planet. They have 500,000 employees. Now, I was an executive chef for Sodexo. My job was to open up new hospitals. And, they'd fly me into town. I'd hire the crew, train the managers, whatever it took to get that hospital open. And then I'd go off to another property, and sometimes doing remodels. But in between hospitals, I had 2 hospitals in Vegas that I was at. And I'd usually just take care of the VIP stuff, the doctors and everything. But here I was, pushing 320 pounds. I had a 48-inch waist. And I'm looking at myself saying, man, I got to do something, or I'm going to end up being one of these people in this hospital. All the doctors were telling me that most of the people were in that hospital because of their diet, not because of broken bones. And usually came back to the fats and the oils and the saturated fat and cholesterol. So I told the doctors, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 40 days without any red meat. And they were like, yeah, do that. So that's what I did, 40 days, no red meat. First 5 days was pretty rough. I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this. But I stuck to it. Next 30 days, I was fine. Had no cravings for red meat. And then all of a sudden, the last 5 days, I started craving red meat again. And I'm like, how is this? I just went 35 days without any red meat. Now I'm going to crave a hamburger? Closer I got to my 40 days being up, the more I was craving it. It was like one day left, and I'm calling my friends, say, let's go hit the prime rib buffets, which we did. It's Vegas. I mean, we could all you can eat prime rib for $5.95. But I couldn't figure out the problem. How, after 40 days, with no red meat, could I be craving red meat that much? And I figured out the problem. Well, actually, I figured out the solution, okay? And that is that we need to make sure that our minds are in control of our bodies instead of our bodies being in control of our minds. Amen? See, this is what's going on out there. People are giving in to their bodily cravings in more ways than one, but especially when it comes to food. They just give the body whatever the body wants. And then they wonder why we're so unhealthy. And we need to make sure that the intelligent part of our body is making those good choices on a daily basis. And I'll tell you what, I mean, doctors were loving it. Dr. Poibu, he comes up to me and says, Mark, I won $100 off you this week. It's Vegas. I mean, they gamble on anything there. But he told me, he says, you've got to get off the milk and cheese. He said that's the worst of anything. In fact, Framingham Medical, no, Cornell, what, right there. Cornell University, they said if you're going vegetarian, so you're not eating any meats, but you're consuming milk and cheese, they said that's like going from 60 cigarettes a day down to 50 cigarettes a day. You're just not doing your body that much good. You're actually better off getting off the milk and cheese. Now that's Cornell University's quote. So I told the doctor, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go all vegan, no animal products. But this time I did not put that block wall out there 40 days later. So I'm just going to get on this path and keep taking steps. And I'll tell you what, within a couple weeks, I started feeling better. Within a month, it's like, man, I'm losing weight, hitting a new hole in my belt loop. Then I really started getting excited, so started just picking those doctors' brains. And Poibu, he says, come in and get a blood test. And so I went in and got blood tests done, a little before and after here. A couple years difference here. And I got 60 pounds difference in between these 2 tests. My before would have been a lot worse, but I'm giving you the actual results here. Cholesterol was at 263, probably well over 300, but officially 263. Now it's at 118. Triglycerides, 274. Now they're at 91. I mean, that's a huge drop. HDL went up, LDL went down, H for higher, L for lower. My LDL went from 159 down to 59. Dropped 100 points on the LDL. Everything on here is perfect. Calcium, 9.2. Actually on the high side. Doctor says, you're eating a lot of salads, aren't you? I was like, yeah, every day. That's where you get your calcium. Eat those greens. And most people are never going to have a problem not getting enough calcium anyway. And too much calcium from dairy products is one of the causes of osteoporosis. But they tell you to consume more, so you'll have to get the drugs that they're selling. Protein was 7.0. Going all plant strong, my protein was perfect. And you know how people are like, where am I going to get my protein? Baked potatoes, 3.9 grams. Peas have 9 grams. Lentils, 16 grams of protein. And they're all complete proteins. Beans are great. Broccoli, 5.8 grams. Even a banana has 1.2 grams of protein. Look, you're never going to have a problem not getting enough protein. It doesn't happen unless you're extremely malnourished. Now, I did some studies, found out that the universities who determined how much protein the body needs, William Rose was the head of the whole program, and multiple universities, they found out that there's certain proteins that we need, and the maximum amount of protein that anybody would possibly need, and they took the highest amount of protein anybody would ever need, and they doubled that. Just a little safety measure. They doubled that. That was their recommendation to the World Health Organization. And then the World Health Organization doubled that. Now, right on the World Health Organization's website, this is their statement. The average man needs 55 grams a day. The average woman needs 44, even though it should be 11. But just according to their statement, 55 for men, 44 for women, and the national average in America is 120 grams a day. So we're almost 3 times the amount of protein we're supposed to be having according to their standards, which are way too high. And now they know for a fact, too much protein causes kidney damage, too much protein causes kidney stones. The federal government's website, National Library of Medicine, renal patients that they put on low protein diets live years longer than renal patients they put on high protein diets. And they still put renal patients on high protein diets. Kill them quicker. Throw some more gas on the fire. That's exactly what they're doing. And here's the newest information. This just came out last year. This is a 26-year study, Journal of American Medical Association. High animal protein is positively associated with mortality, while high plant protein is inversely associated with mortality, even in people with multiple lifestyle risk factors. In every single case, animal protein's killing you quicker, plant protein's making you live longer. So there's a big difference between these two proteins. And but let me tell you, I could give you all the science in the world. There are, especially the last 15 years, there is mountains of science showing that a plant-strong lifestyle is by far the healthiest way to go. And the statistics have been out for 100 years. So now you have the statistics and the science out there. I'm going to make some salad dressing out of bananas. I got to get back to work here. But let me ask you the question here, and we'll do it in a fun, logical way for everybody to relate to. What are the 3 nutrients? And let's just take the top 3, because there's, I'm sure, a lot of them. So what are the top 3 nutrients that society's always telling you you need more of? Well, it's going to be protein, right? I gave you that one. Calcium, number 2, and probably rounding out the top 3 would be vitamin D. Oh, you need more calcium. You got to get more protein. You got to get more vitamin D. Okay, protein, calcium, and vitamin D. All right. What are the 3 nutrients? Basically, the only 3 nutrients you get out of animal products: protein, calcium, and vitamin D. The exact same 3. Now, isn't that a coincidence? And even though we have the highest consumption of animal products in the history of the planet, how can we be the lowest on those exact same 3 nutrients? See, it's just not possible. The reason we believe this is because we live in a fragmentized society now. And as long as you hear things enough times, you're going to believe it. And the better the lies are presented, the more often you hear it, the more absurd the truth is going to sound. You know, it's not necessarily that these people are lying either. I mean, I'll give you an example. Just go to the grocery store, okay? Everywhere you look, high in protein, fortified with vitamin D, calcium supplemented. It is everywhere. And whatever product has the most protein gets the sale. It's a huge competition for your dollars. So we see this over and over and we think, oh, I must need more. There was a doctor on television earlier this year, and he was saying, now you know you need more protein. I was like, more than what? He's looking at a camera. You know, that's a horrible way to diagnose somebody when you haven't even seen their blood test. But we hear it. He's selling you a product, you know. And we hear it over and over, and then we think, well, it must be true. I heard it on Facebook. It's the world we live in now. So, and let me just point one thing out, too. Every body is a little bit different. You know, you live up in the northern states, you might need some vitamin D. You know, down in Nevada, we don't have that problem. And if you're working in office 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, yeah, you might need some vitamin D. You know, so every body is a little bit different, but the problem is we're getting massively bombarded by way too much of all these so-called nutrients. They're nutrients as long as you're not getting massively bombarded by them. All right, bananas. Salad dressing, bananas and brown mustard. All right, now that wasn't a very good reaction. Wow. All right, bananas and red wine vinegar. How's that sound? Man, this is a tough crowd. Okay. Now, some people don't like the vinegar. You can always do, it's non-fermented. Today's process is steamed. It's not a fermented like it used to be. But you can always use lemon juice. Honey would be okay, right? Mm-hmm. Just say when. Yeah. Okay. More? Keep going? She's like, no. All right, I'll just stop right there then. And my secret ingredient today is going to be a shot of cumin in there. That's an essence, little pairing, because you're going to have a little cumin, and then you've got the entree over here later on. So it'll complement the latter. That's the kind of way you do it. Oh, and I need a couple drops of water. Just got to get a couple drops of water in this to get it spinning. So just a couple drops. All right, and just like that, salad dressing out of bananas. Doesn't turn brown. We've had it in the fridge for weeks. I teach concepts though, okay? These ingredients is what you find in a lot of salad dressings, don't you? Exactly. So all I'm doing is using those bananas as a thickener. Any salad dressing, you can take regular Italian dressing, put a banana in there, boom, you got creamy Italian. Kids don't like bananas, they'll never know they're there. So, yeah, it works really good. All right, I got to finish my blood test though, or I'm going to forget. I'm a little hypoglycemic and ADHD and a couple other things I can't pronounce. What? They're all pre-diagnosing me over here. This is without the drugs. Dude, they tell me that I'm the David Asterisk of the kitchen. Is that? Amen? Is that what David does? Right? Amen? He grew up 7 miles away from me. I don't know if there's something in the water there, but... My glucose, 106, in the high zone, almost pre-diabetic. Now it's 83, right where it's supposed to be. Now, the type 2 diabetics, ooh, this is a problem. Such a big problem. The Journal of American Medical Association put out a statement here last year. 50% of the population in America, 50% is now diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's an epidemic problem. Going ignored. Give them a pill, give them a shot, whatever. Just ignore it. And from the American Diabetes Association's website, this is what they have on there. If you're all type 2 diabetics in here, if everybody's a type 2 diabetic, 20% get kidney disease. 65% end up with permanent nerve disease and amputations. 65% type 2 diabetics. Chop off your toes and then your foot and then your leg. 20,000 people a year lose their eyesight just from type 2 diabetes. And 75% die of heart disease or stroke. Let me tell you, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. And all my brothers and sisters, 300 to 400 pounds. I have 2 brothers over 400 pounds. And my sister died at the age of 54 from cancer. My parents fed us bacon and eggs every morning. Hamburgers, pork chops, hamburger helper, ice cream, cheese, chicken, milk, and lots of sugar. That's what we ate every day. So I'm just so thankful that God showed me a better way to eat. And really, personally speaking here, I just feel like God loved me so much, he loves us so much, that he gave me an answer on how to get healthy. You know, that's how much he loved me. And I'm taking advantage of it. You know, so, and I'm so thankful that he showed me how to get healthy, or I would be right there with my brothers and sisters. The one thing I was low on, though, just to be thorough, B12. Yes, I was low on B12, right at the rock bottom, 329. So I did do some homework. I meet with a lot of the biggest doctors in the world now on a regular basis. I've been their opening speakers, and last year, Michael Greger, anybody know Michael Greger? I was his opening speaker last year, and he's like the #1 health doctor in the world, and done things for Hans Deal and other people. And I found out that 50 years ago, 75 years ago, nobody had B12 deficiencies like they do today. So my question was, why? Well, found out the reason is because people are washing their food too much. Yeah. And I know you got to wash your food, okay? I understand the argument there. But what you want to know is that B12 is actually a bacteria that grows on rooted plants. B12 is there everywhere. It grows on rooted plants. So when you're peeling your potatoes and your carrots, you're actually peeling away B12. That's why I did not peel these potatoes and those carrots. I want those nutrients. In fact, 50 years ago, 75 years ago, Mom and Pop, they just chop up the food and throw it in the pot. They weren't all paranoid, peeling and scrubbing everything. In fact, when I was a kid, we'd be out in the garden, we'd just rub the dirt off the carrots and eat them out in the garden. We weren't bringing them in to get them sterilized. And there's some really amazing studies out there that show kids that play in the dirt are actually far healthier than kids that play on the computers. And it actually gives them a better immune system for the rest of their life, just from those couple of years of playing in the dirt. So it's really amazing. And of course, you know me, I go the extra mile. Found out 50 years ago, 75 years ago, you know, they didn't have these deficiencies. And what's the other common factor here is the question, where do the cows get their B12? Because that's where people are getting their B12 from, is the cows. Well, it's from the grass and the roots and everything. That's where the cows get their B12 and pass it along to humans. And I'm thinking about this, and I said, man, if it's that easy for cows to get B12 just from the grass that they're eating and pass it along to humans, how easy is it for them to pass along those dozens of injections that they get every year? You know, especially those milking cows, because a lot of those milking cows actually get more estrogen in 1 year than women produce in an entire lifetime. It's in the milk and the cheese. By the way, I do wash everything. Yeah, it's in the meat when they chop it up, too. So, you know, I'm thinking, you know, that's just a bad situation. Now, I could give you all the gruesome stuff out there because there's so much of it. But really, today, what I want to do is actually give you some strategies about some things you can actually do to get healthy, okay? And probably one of the best things, drink more water. That's a big one. Have your biggest meal for breakfast, smaller lunch and a smaller dinner. That's a really good thing to do. In fact, in society, they do the exact opposite. They do their smallest meal for breakfast, a bigger lunch and a bigger dinner. And if you turn that upside down and you have your biggest meal for breakfast, it's going to do a couple really important things for you. First thing it's going to do, you're not going to be hungry all day long. When you eat nothing for breakfast, you're starving yourself all day. So you have to have bigger meals and bigger meals to catch up with your missing fuel. And you actually eat way too much food that way. And here in America, we just eat way too much. And so if you have your biggest meal for breakfast, you're going to eat less throughout the day. Now that's going to save you a lot of money because you're eating less. It's going to save you a lot of calories because you're eating less. And you're going to have more energy. Let me tell you, I have more energy now than I did back when I was in my 20s. And I just had my 55th birthday. So that make me a senior citizen now?
Take this coat.
Where did the time go?
Discount.
But yeah, exactly. So have that biggest meal for breakfast. And, you know, if you look at society, have any of you ever heard of this word called supper? A couple people, okay. Not many, but a couple. Well, today it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? And breakfast used to be the biggest meal of the day. Then dinner was the biggest meal at midday. Do you remember the Waltons days? Dinner was the biggest meal at midday. And then supper. And then lunch came into the picture. And lunch said, hey, dinner, I'm kicking you out of here. Dinner went and took over supper's position. Now, this happened very slowly over generations. The dinner became the last meal of the day, and it took the biggest meal with it. See, Satan loves to do things over generations so nobody notices. And so that's how we got dinner at the last meal of the day. In fact, do any of you know what the definition of the word supper is? Snack. Yeah, and some definitions say sup. They knew all along it was supposed to be the smallest meal of the day. But we're in this nutty, upside-down world. It's just crazy out there. I do a lot of good breakfast items. My brother, now the last time I was here, remember last time I was here, I don't know if you were here last time, my brother Paul, he had a cholesterol level of 1,000. This was before I was here. I was telling you about it last time. And I went over to stay with him and put him on an all-vegan lifestyle. And when I got there, his cholesterol was at 900. He weighs 400 pounds. Just looked horrible, white as a ghost. And 3 weeks going all vegan with no animal products, his cholesterol went from 900 down to 300 and change. He started getting reaction in his skin. His eyes were clearing up. Felt better. He's like, wow, I can't believe this. And I had lost like 50 pounds at the time. And now it's been 6 years for him. I just talked to him. He was over in the Carolinas on the first responder thing. And he's got his cholesterol down to 170, lost over 100 pounds now, just by going on a plant-strong lifestyle. And what I did for him is what you all need to do, and that is get your kitchens designed for success. Look, if everything in your kitchen is unhealthy and you bring home a carrot, how long is it going to be in the fridge? Turns to rubber, maybe gets hard or slimy or something. Yeah, you'll put it in those drawers down below where good intentions go to die. Yeah, little caskets that you open up, right? Yeah, I know what those are. Yeah. And so I showed my brother how to have a full-blown salad bar in his refrigerator. And you want to wash your food before it goes in the fridge. Why are you going to put dirty produce into a clean refrigerator? If you do that, your mind is going to be saying, oh, I don't want to mess with it. I got to wash it. I got to cut it. I got to clean it. Oh, I got potato chips. That's what your brain will do. Or at least if it's washed, cut and prepped and ready to eat. Oh, then your brain is saying fast food. I can just grab and go. We live in a fast-paced society now. We want our food now. So you want to prep for days, weeks, even months ahead of time. Make big pots of soup. Freeze it in batches so you can just pull it out. And I showed them how to make chickpea hummus and tofu egg salad well, chickpea, the hummus. I make a chickpea salad, that's not really a hummus, but it's got texture to it. And so it's easy. You can just make a wrap, you can make a salad, and you're actually saving time. You're saving so much time in the long run because you're doing things this way. I set them up with an oatmeal station. Everybody should have an oatmeal station. On the top shelf of my oatmeal station, I've got, what do I have? Regular oats and quick oats and steel cut oats. I got grits and cream of wheat. I've got hard red winter wheat and brown rice in my oatmeal station. That's where I keep it because that's what I use for crock pots overnight all the time. And I've got a couple of homemade granolas all the time up there. I'll take oatmeal and just flip it into granola. It's really easy to do that. On the next shelf, I got containers like this. Raisins and craisins and dried blueberries, walnuts and pecans. I got ground flaxseed and wheat germ and hemp powder and coconut flakes and all these fun toppings. And And then I've got spice jars, little ones, that are right in my oatmeal station. I've got a regular spice rack, if you've seen it on television. But my spice jars, in the oatmeal station, I got cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, apple pie, pumpkin pie spice, which is really good for this time of the year because the new batch is coming out. So now's the time to buy pumpkin pie spice. And if you want to make oatmeal really quick, the easy way, just boil up some hot water. You can take any bowl, fill it about half to 3/4 full of oats, add whatever toppings you want. You bring it to bring the water to a boil, and then you just fill it up with water, give it a stir, and then come back 5 minutes later and it's ready to eat. So no microwave messes, none of these dirty pots on the stove. Everybody can have a different oatmeal every day of the month. I mean, it's really a great way. Kids can come home from school and make oatmeal. Now you cannot use the steel cut oats though if you're going to do it the quick way like that, because those take about 20 minutes to cook. But they do have quick steel cut oats. Have y'all seen those yet? Yeah, even Aldi's now has quick steel cut oats, and the price is right. So, and those work for those breakfasts like that. Yeah, get your kitchen designed for success. My brother Wayne, not that interested in getting healthy. He owns a cattle farm in Wyoming. So, yeah, he weighs 400 pounds. Hi, Wayne, in case you're watching. He weighs 400 pounds, and he'll go back behind his house there with the feed truck, and all the cows come running over when they hear that feed truck, you know. But my wife and I went to go visit them, and we're just like getting back from these big animals, you know. We're like, get away. But my brother Wayne, he just gives the cows a big hug. He's like, hey, little cow, how you doing? And he talks to it like their family. Then he decides which one he wants to eat. Just what he does. Yeah, he called me a while back, though, and he said, Mark, we've been eating veggie burgers for the last few weeks. I thought, cool. Maybe he saw me lose 70 pounds now. He sees Paul lose 100. My sister in Arizona is getting healthy. She's lost about 20 pounds. And so I thought maybe Wayne's going to get healthy. He's eating veggie burgers. And then he said, my other cow, I named him Black Bean. Yeah, he said, next month we're doing black bean burgers and black bean steaks. I was like, no, it doesn't count. Now, one thing you want to do is start reading labels. I have, this would have been about 6-7 years ago. I finally quit eating potato chips. That was one of my weaknesses. And well, I was reading the dummy label, and it said 0% cholesterol. I was like, yeah. Then I started reading the fine print. And it was made with milk and cheddar and whey and cream and all of that. And I finally said, that's it, no more potato chips. I'll do the corn chips, corn oil, and salt. But I'll get raisins and craisins and blueberries and make my own blends. And found out I would have went through $50 at least worth of potato chips before I go through a $10 jar of nuts. So it saves me a lot of money, snacking healthier. I'm not a big snacker anymore either. That was a big problem for me because being a chef, I was eating 20, 30 times a day. Yeah, you know, and so it took me a few years to really get to the point where I just had my meals are scheduled and I'm not eating between meals. So, and I'm not hungry. If I was, I'd eat, but I'm not. And so I do pretty good on that. But don't eat the Planters dry roasted peanuts. These are now made with pork. Pork, yeah. New labels. The old label used to say peanuts, peanut oil, and sea salt. Here's the new label. 2 years ago it came out. Peanuts, sea salt, sugar, MSG now. It's got gelatin in here, your pork gelatin. If it says K gelatin, then it's kosher. K gelatin's made with beef bones or seaweed. You'll see it on yogurts. You know that's made with seaweed. Still got about 10 more ingredients here, but the front still says made with pure sea salt, even though there's 15 ingredients right there. This is what they get away with. Hormel chili, 98% fat-free. Yeah, selling tactics, right? 27% cholesterol, 51% sodium. 2 portions in a can. You really got to look at portion sizes. Oh, they're manipulating these dummy labels because they do the portion different. We had a bag of chips here not too long ago. 7 chips was a portion. It's like 1 bite. But they could say under 60 calories. Now this is Hormel chili, but what's on the front label? It's a picture of a salad. Yeah. They put a salad on the front label of chili and make it look healthy. Jif with omega-3. Now you see omega-3 everywhere, right? Another one of those omega-3, omega-3, omega-3. Oh, I must need omega-3. People going down buying gallons of fish oil, guzzling it, because they think they're going to have an omega-3 deficiency. You know, you get omega-3 out of rice. All right, people don't have omega-3 deficiencies. It's a selling tactic. So, and there's no omega-3 in peanuts. This one here, Jif with omega-3, it's actually made with anchovies and sardines. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you like anchovies with your peanut butter sandwich, you know, it's already in there, so it might save you a step or something. And check this out. Calories is 190. Calories from fat is 170. So this is 75% calories from fat. This is 70% calories from fat. The best doctors in the world will tell you that your calories from fat on a daily consumption needs to be less than 10%. Some are down to 5. I've seen some up to 15. But the bottom line is you're eating stuff that's 50, 75, 100% calories from fat. Weight gainers. They activate the liver to produce more cholesterol. And this is the cause of your type 2 diabetes, including olive oil and coconut oil. Wait, that's a good fat. Well, yeah, it's 12% good fat, 88% bad fat, but they did a great job of marketing it.
Avocado oil?
Same problem. It's the same problem. Eat the avocado instead of the avocado oil. Eat the coconut instead of the coconut oil. You're going to have a lot more success. And there's a book on the back of the flyer that you want to read. It's called Reversing Diabetes. Dr. Neil Bernard. And he shows us where we have these valves all over our body and in our cells and pancreas and everywhere. And there's a blockage. So you need the insulin that forces those doors open and close and open and close. When if you just get rid of the blockage, which is all the fats and oils, then you don't need all that insulin. And even type 1 diabetics have better success by eliminating those fats and oils. And so that's a really good book to read. It's called Reversing Diabetes, Dr. Neil Bernard. And let me, look, I'm not the food police, okay? I don't care if you want to put a little olive oil on a salad. I don't care if you want to do a dessert with some coconut oil. We do that once in a while. The problem is that we're getting massively bombarded by these fats and oils, okay? In fact, this is from the USDA Census Bureau, federal government's website. National average for vegetable oil alone, 10.2 pounds per person per month. That's this much oil that the average person consumes every month. Well, actually, this is only 9 pounds, so you'd have to add a little more to it. So it's 41,000 calories, over 1,200 calories a day that the average person consumes just in vegetable oil. This is the problem, that we're getting massively bombarded by these oils. And so that's, you know, you've got to watch out. And here's the other thing. They changed the labels. You all know about the new labels? Let's see. The Jif has it on there. Yeah. The new labels. This was a law back in 2016. And they had until July 26th of this year to comply. So, boom, 2 years later, here we are. Everybody's got to comply. The one thing that they changed on the label, they no longer have to tell you the calories from fat. The number one problem that we have, the cause of type 2 diabetes, and they're no longer telling you this on the back. Now, there is a way to learn the calories from fat, but you have to do some math. You got to take the total fat, multiply it times 9. That will give you your calories from fat. Then you got to look at the ratio between the calories from fat and the total calories to get the percentage. So, how many people are going to do that? Or even know how to do that? See? Kind of the dumbing down of America. Let's not tell them what's in our product. You know the Samra hummus? 70% calories from fat. Oh yeah, and I can make hummus that's 2% calories from fat, you know. But this is the problem. They don't want you knowing how unhealthy their products are. So that's why they pushed, you know, lobbyists just pushed and pushed and pushed until they could get that calories from fat off of their off their labels. I'm going to get this cheese going with potatoes and carrots here. Potatoes and carrots are all cooked up. There's another book. I'm going to share with you why, though. There's another book on the back of the flyer called The End of Overeating. Dr. David Kessler. He was the head of the Food and Drug Administration. He found out that the manufacturers of food hire scientists to find out how to make their food as addictive as they possibly can. Whatever they have to do to make that food addictive, they're going to do it. You ever eat something and you put it away and 30 seconds later you're opening it up again? Specifically designed for addictions. The fast food restaurants all hire scientists to make their food addictive. Even the hamburger bun alone at McDonald's, specifically designed for addiction. Restaurants like TGI Fridays and Chili's hire scientists. And I'm just quoting the book. They hire scientists to work along with the chefs to make their food as addictive as possible. And they now found out that above and beyond even chemicals, which they love to use any chance they can, there's actually an exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt. And if you get that exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt on any product, triggers your endorphins, even if all you do is see a picture of that food a month later. That's how addictive they can make the food. And we are all victims of this because they want your pocketbook. You know, it's all about money. You know, so you just want to look out for those triggers of sugar, oil, and salt. And the type 2 diabetics, by the way, when you go on an all vegan, get rid of all those fats and oils in the meats and get rid of all the oils, usually within 2 to 3 weeks, you're completely off your meds. And another few weeks later, your type 2 diabetes is completely reversed. And then you can eat carbs, you can eat sugar, but I'm not telling you that. Shh, don't tell anybody. What are the doctors telling you? The doctors tell you to stay away from carbs and stay away from sugar, right? They're teaching you how to live with type 2 diabetes for the rest of your life. They're not teaching you how to reverse it. And if you want to reverse it, then you got to get off all of the oils, and then for a certain amount of time, then you, yeah, that's the interesting part. More carbs help you not get the cheese right here with potatoes and carrots. We're going to do the same ratio with the garlic and onion here. 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion. You'll see my recipes are so forgiving. They're perfect the way they are, but you have a lot of wiggle room. So they're really great for variations to run with them. Because I'm a production chef. I'm just used to cooking for thousands of people. So McKay's chicken style seasoning, vegan special. You should be able to get that at a lot of health food stores. And then this is nutritional yeast flakes, which is a derivative of molasses, high in B12. Popcorn. Okay, my wife puts this on popcorn. You ever have this on popcorn? Yeah, popcorn. Okay, if I did hot air popped popcorn with nothing on it, nobody's going to want to eat it. Now, if I did just salt on hot air popped popcorn, you're still not going to be very happy with it. And if I did nothing but olive oil on hot air popped popcorn, you'd be like, what is this? But if we did the salt and the oil, or like that salted butter, oh man, you'll be picking out every little half kernel. Wait, there's another little piece right there. I got that one. Yeah. And if we did that kettle corn with the sugar, oil, and salt, yeah, you'll be down at the grocery store at midnight buying another bag. Yeah, so just look for those triggers, okay, of sugar, oil, and salt, because they're designed for addiction. All right, we're going to put this in with some potato water here and get it about level. I get it about level with, because I make big batches, so maybe put a little bit more in here. And give this baby a blend. It takes about a minute, so we'll get this baby started here. And just like that, cheese out of potatoes and carrots. Now this does have some brown specks in it because I did not peel the potatoes and the carrots. But you'll see my pictures on my website, and we peeled all the potatoes and the carrots. I was at my sister's house, and you'll see my thumb in it. And it looks exactly like cheese for nachos. She had a whole bunch of football players coming over, so we didn't tell them. And they all thought it was that cheese for nachos. And let me tell you, you can turn this queso dips, add your green chilies or salsas. You can hit it with macaroni and cheese. Just take cooked macaroni, boom, you're done. We'll usually throw some Daya cheese in there and some breadcrumbs and then throw it in the oven. And then you'll get that elasticity out of it too. So, and it's done in 5 minutes, so little secret there. But yeah, it's really easy. Soups, there's your base for soups. If you want to, let's see what, we'll do steamed veggie pots, big steamed veggie pots. Plate up the veggies, put the cheese over the top, you're good to go. And so that's a really good way to do that. I don't have my ladle here, so I'm going to do it the hard way here. So the soup is ready. It's your Southwest flavored soup. And you hit it with a little bulgur wheat, just like that. This would be called a 2-component soup, which means you get $20 for it in a restaurant. Yeah, 3 components, you get 25. Put a flour in there, Yeah, that's what restaurants do to take an inexpensive soup and get top dollar for it. All right, chop up this watermelon here. And my mom, she didn't get too many watermelons either. She was always, she's like, they just take up so much room in the fridge. Actually, she did not want to bring them home from the grocery store. She did not want to carry those we carried our groceries home, and quite a bit. And or she'd be like, they're so tough to cut. I was like, come here, Mom, let me show you how to cut a watermelon. So you can kind of clean this up if you want a little bit. Let me get all this out of the way. Unless anybody wants to make some pickled rinds. I have not learned how to do that. I hear it takes a lot of sugar. All right, so then you get it right here. It's actually pretty easy to handle. And lay these babies flat. See a couple little pieces there. You can fine tune it if you want. I'll perfect it here. There we go. And now, all you got to do is a couple slices sideways like this. Of course, if you're going to do this at home, don't put your hand on this side, okay? Keep your hand on top, away from where the knife's going. Now you do some checkerboards on the top. And you can make these checkerboards as big or as small as you want too. So you go this way, and then you go this way. Just like that. Literally, 1 minute, you got your entire watermelon cut up. Is that easy enough for you? I should have been a cook. Watch, Pastor, the next time you have a fellowship meal, you'll have 40 people all bringing watermelon. Yeah. I got one more book for you here. Yeah, 45 minutes. I was right on schedule. That was pretty good. This book, it's called Counsels in Diets and Foods. Really good book. It's kind of like Michael Greger's new book, How Not to Die. It just has tons of tidbits of knowledge in it. I'll read this one. It says, cooking may be regarded as less desirable than any other line of work. But in reality, it is a science in value above all other sciences. Cooking is. Thus, God regards the preparation of healthful food. He places high estimate on those who do faithful service in preparing wholesome, palatable food. And the one who understands the art of properly preparing food and who use this knowledge are worthy of higher commendations than those engaged in any other line of work. So if you're doing the cooking at home, you just got a raise. Think about it. Biggest meal for breakfast. You're eating less, saving money. Breakfast is the least expensive meal of the day, right? You go out for lunch, it's more expensive. Dinner's like way more expensive. So you might as well have your biggest consumption or least expensive items to consume. And if you're eating those healthy carbs like you're supposed to, you know, your beans, your rice, your quinoa, your oats, those are the least expensive items as well. So, yeah, and Dr. Hans Deal, I've done events with Dr. Hans Deal over the years here. And he said that out of 10,000 studies that he did, the average savings for a Western meat-eating diet person to go on a healthier, plant-strong lifestyle, the average savings is 40%. So, I mean, even in today's grocery market, you're going to save a ton of money. And she continues here, this is because it is inseparably connected with life and health, that cooking is the most valuable of all gifts. And the reason I point this out, what did the devil go after with Adam and Eve? Diet? Food? Apples? Appetite? Good answers.
Satan loves, huh?
Satan loves going after the body. Because Satan knows first you get the body, then you get the mind, and then you get the spirit. And we've heard that phrase, right? Body, mind, and spirit. It's in that exact order. That's why he goes after our kids' bodies, especially nowadays. 155 pounds of sugar per person per year. Most of that is kids, that would be even higher. And then you got the chemicals nowadays, and the pesticides, and I mean, they're getting massively bombarded, and the GMOs, I mean, and he was attacking our bodies before we were ever even born. He's attacking the body, because he knows the progression, body, mind, spirit. So all we're doing is simply reversing the process. When you start getting healthier physically, then you're going to start getting healthier mentally. And then you're going to have a better connection with God. It is all connected in such a mighty way. Framingham Medical Studies, they found out when you go on a plant-strong lifestyle, first of all, you get all that animal fat off your blood cells, which gives you the right amount of oxygen in your blood. That helps remove all those particles. That's your number one filtering system. And it helps remove all those harmful particles, those pesticides and everything. And they found out you also get that animal fat off of all your brain cells. And when people go plant strong, they actually end up with higher brain activity. And that was their quote. My quote, it just makes you smarter. And I just think we need to make better choices, okay? Make better choices when you go to the grocery store. Make better choices when you go out to eat. I mean, I go to Subway. They've got veggie subs. Taco Bell, no cheese, no sour cream, Fresca menu. You know, you can find good choices out there. And it does domino effect in your relationship with God. And let me tell you, I could be back in Vegas making top dollar, but you know, God has just inspired me to get out in the communities and inspire you to start being that inspiration. Look, if you're living a healthy life now, get out there and share it with somebody. And there's so many people, they just don't know where to start. And they just need somebody to walk with them and talk with them and help them along the path. And it takes time. I mean, I'm still working on it. You know, it takes time for certain things. And if you're not healthy now and you start making changes, oh man, let me tell you, people are going to see that. They're going to be like, wow, what have you been doing? And then you can be a serious inspiration to your loved ones and your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers. And they're going to be like, ah, man, I can do that too. And sometimes that's even more important to do it for the ones you love that you can be an inspiration for. So, but yeah, just keep taking those steps and eventually you'll get there. Now we're going to take up a donation. And let me tell you, those donations do more than just cover my food costs. They help cover traveling expenses. They help cover our new studio. Since the last time I was here, I got to share with you, wait a minute on that. Since the last time I was here, we saved, my wife and I, we went on tour. We saved every nickel we could. We built a new studio. We have a studio the size of this room for film production. And everything, it's all set up. We have now recorded 5 seasons of cooking programs, and they're on 4 different networks now. We don't have sponsors yet, so you're still my sponsors. It's kind of the cart before the horse. You gotta nobody's going to sponsor a show that does not exist, so we had to build the cart. And now we got the cart running, and we have interest now with some major networks who want us to produce half-hour programs. So we built a brand new studio set here this summer. Looks exactly like Chip and Joanne Gaines built it. The farmhouse, yeah, the farmhouse, it's gorgeous. And we started recording on it, and we'll have those programs ready in January. And hopefully then we can really get some sponsors to help, cover those things. But yeah, that's what we did. We just diligently moved forward and got it built. So you'll see it on the internet pretty quick here. Oh wait, no, we were going to do a drawing first. That's right. Let's grab those tickets because we got to have a drawing before, so we know who's going to do the dishes. Oh, y'all didn't know what you were drawing for, did you? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can let anybody draw names. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drawings, so pretty good odds tonight. And first one goes to Don McCabe. Okay, I'm going to have you hand that back. Better mix them up now. Is that Gina Cornett? Yeah. Gina? Okay. This is my little inspirations book, this little pocket book that I made. Kim Shulan? Sheehan? Social Security number 113. I've got a testimony book here called From Sin City to Simplicity. Robin A. Wishes. Boy, it's a hot area over here. Look at that. How many more? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. Kelly Long.
Jim, grab one.
That's a DVD. This is my DVD called The Cutting Edge. Dina Ham.
Ah, Dina.
Okay. And last two. Helen Cotton? Is that? Okay, I got one left here.
All right, you can jump it last.
This is the 12-part series called Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. And, Mary Coleman? Mary? Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, and I think he's got the bags. Jim has the bags, so we're just going to pass the donation bags around. And, your donations, you can make checks payable to Mark Anthony, but we'll let him pass the donation bags around. And then I'll finish up getting ready here so we're ready to serve. And then I still want to see that video that you got too, so. Yeah, we're finishing a little early because I don't want anybody leaving after the dinner. I'm going to share with you the secret to every diet on the planet. And I've got a couple more things I want to share with you, so, but we'll get everybody their meal. But you want to watch a video. We can wait, we'll just get these collected, and I want to see this anyway. I didn't get a chance to see it. You might want to tell them what it's about.
This is going to be coming up here in a minute, hopefully.
Since the beginning of recorded time, cultures across the globe have predicted the end of the world. Ancient Christians believed that before the world's final days, Jesus would appear. But 2,000 years later, he still hasn't come, even as global unrest and natural disasters are building in intensity. Many are left wondering if the time is near. Is this what the Bible predicted? Or are we misunderstanding what the prophecy really says? Have we just ignored what the early Christians knew all along? Join Sean Boonstra from the Voice of Prophecy as he takes you through history and across the globe to discover the myths and facts that surround the appearing, an event mentioned in the Bible over 2,500 times. This 5-part event explores the moment the world has been anticipating for thousands of years. An ancient prophecy. A world on the edge. Are these the last days? The appearing. Are you ready?
We have an event coming up starting on the 11th of October. 5 nights, the 11th through the 15th of October, starting at 7 p.m., called The Appearing. Very interesting information for you. If you're interested in that, you can pre-register tonight. We also have some handouts for you. There's some on the table over there. In fact, maybe I can get somebody to pass those around to the table so people have those at their tables. But they're over there. Yes, here's some up here too. And if you take and pre-register for that and show up, come the first night, we have the book, The Appearing, that's free for you. So we want to let you know about that piece of information coming up. And then also we'll try and contact you again in November. We have, I forget her name, Griffith from, what's her first?
Vicki Griffith.
Vicki Griffith.
Okay.
Thank you. Vicki Griffith will be here in November for a health presentation.
Oh, perfect.
So we'll send you out, if you filled out a registration card, we will send you out that information so that you can come on that night for a presentation again on healthy eating and diet and so on. You know her well.
Oh, yeah.
We know her well. So we want to have that for you. So I believe, do you want to mention anything about your books back there?
Yeah. Now, Vicki Griffin, I don't know if any of you know her. You know, I can inspire you, I can motivate you up here. But she's going to have a depth of knowledge that is really going to come in handy. So if you can get a chance to see her, absolutely, go for it. And I don't know if any of you know who Sean Boonstra is. I've talked to him a couple times. This guy, he's got a radio show too that he started. He really does his homework. I do my homework, and that's why I really like him, because my wife and I will sit there sometimes at home and we'll just tune him in just to listen to what he's saying, because the guy does his homework, and I like people that do their homework, so that's definitely worth going to. So I can inspire you and motivate you, but bottom line is you just got to be consistent and persistent. Keep taking those steps. I know sometimes it can be a challenging journey. I think of it as tunnel vision. You know, if Jesus is at the end of your tunnel, do those things to get closer to him. Read more, study more, pray more. If you want to get healthy, you got to take those steps to get healthy. And once you get to the end of the tunnel, it takes a little while to get to the end of the tunnel, but then everything in front of you is crystal clear and all that earthly dirt is behind you. So it's just a stepping process. And we really just need to train ourselves. Actually, what we need to do is we need to retrain ourselves, because we were not trained right the first time. And once you get your bodies retrained into the way you should have been eating all along, you can look back like I do. I can't believe I used to eat the way I used to eat. And it's just a matter of taking those steps. So, I do have a book table after the event, and books are available. I've got my brand new book called Simply Incredible Flavor here, which has got half a dozen doctors' endorsements on it already. So that was really getting some good buzz out there. But we're going to have a buffet line started right over here. I'll need some volunteers to help serve. But we'll probably just take one table at a time. We can start, table 1, table 2, table 3, and then go on the back row. We'll get everybody served, and then I want to share with you some secrets about diet that are really going to blow you away. So,
She's coming.
but I think I'll have a prayer over the meal, and then we can serve, and then I'll pick up where we left off there. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for bringing us together, and we thank you for the blessings of the food you provide. And we just ask those blessings to keep us healthy and nourished and strengthened, and not just physically, Lord. We want to be strengthened mentally, so we can be spiritually closer to you. And it really is our purpose, Lord, is to learn more about you and know you and understand how you love us so much. And we just thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. So, we'll get a couple volunteers and then be ready to serve. And I can get the first row lined up right there. Gloves right there. Yep. So first person, you're just going to set up a bunch of chips. Going down there and just go over to the next person. And you're able to go cheese. And then you can hand it off and then help themselves to everything else. Yep. And I'll be right over to take care of it.
I know. Yeah, there you go.
So what's your
We have it in a week or so.
make everyone look just like
Somebody's a picture, right? Pushing up there on the way.
with a spoon. Try to get over here. Probably, yeah. Ready to go?
Yep, those are ready to go. Yep. I'm glad to see you here.
Hey, what's Charlotte doing?
Okay.